Okay. So soon, on the 21st, there will be a new beginning for a new administration. And Rahm Emanuel has met with the new man that's coming to hold office twice. And what they're talking about doing for Chicago and the violence is infrastructure, but that is not the root of the problem. And quite frankly, I don't think Rahm Emanuel really cared what the root of the problem is, because if he did, he could have fixed some things a long time ago. Next, the root of the problem is some of these aldermans as well, because they go along with what he say. They don't buck back and they don't represent the people. The most disturbing thing for me is the salaries that they get for supposing to be the representative of the people. And what's even more disturbing to me is we as constituents, who help them get into the office, we don't hold their butts to the fire when they're in office, and we don't make them accountable for what they should do when they don't do it. I've said this before. There are a variety of vacant schools in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm sure there's some across these United States. Those schools could be used for people that's homeless. Those schools could be used to set up where they can go in and get a meal, take a shower. Those schools can be used for veterans, until they can temporary housing. If they have people, contractors come in to volunteer to help rehab them to serve a purpose. They have these TIF funds. They're not being used, and nobody's asking why they're not being used. Aldermen have slush funds, and they're not being used. But yet and still, they sit in these chambers, they get on the TV, and they lie to the registered voters and say they care and they're concerned. From the lowest of elected official office, from the alderman all the way up to the Congress and the Senate, they are lying. They are not doing their due diligence as representation for the people. They're not. And the broken roads is not just the problem. There are broken homes. The Chicago public school system is suffering because they won't put no money into it. They prefer to invest in the charter schools, and the kids get the short end of the stick. But yet and still, the mayor continues to say that we are in good condition. Even the governor, he is still just as much as accountable as the mayor, because they know what the problems are and they're really not addressing. So what about the crime? What is the reason for the crime? It's more than one reason that there's crime. If you take programs that's viable to a community, guess what's going to happen? Crime is going to increase. And then the funny part, the elected officials get these great salaries, but you don't want to pay nobody minimum wage. So when do us as constituents, the light bulb go on and say something is not right? You get on TV, you lie continuously, and nobody want to hold his butt to the fire. Mayor Rahm Emanuel to the fire, or Bruce Rauner to the fire. You should hold them to the fire. They are representation of you. Their kids are going to get theirs because they're using your taxpayer dollars to make sure their families is taken care of. And they're steady lying to you and not providing what they say they was going to do. Our community should not suffer for the foolish lies that they tell all the time. I'm just saying, you can't have a program where you just help 100 kids and there's 1,000 kids that need help. What about the other 900? So we got all these programs. What are they really doing? And why do you give constantly money to certain non-for-profit organizations when all non-for-profit organizations don't benefit? And the non-for-profit organizations you give the money to, you can't show or you can't tell what they're doing with the money or how they're helping. I'm confused. Somebody enlighten me why your mayor and your governor and your alderman, your state representative keep lying to you, the registered voters. You should feel the same way.